Hey gamers, Gecko here. With Venom coming out, the Arc World Tour ending, and me finally being able to rest a little bit, I think now may be a good time to take a critical look at Guilty Gear, see where the future's going, and ask an important question. It's been 2 days since the character's out, and we all know on the internet, if you don't have a hot take about him the moment they come out, then you're not a real content creator. So, let's answer the question. Has Venom saved Guilty Gear? I don't fucking know, dude. Venom as a character has been extremely well received by the entire Guilty Gear community. I've yet to see a single person who said anything negative about the character, and that's absolutely insane. Normally, every character that comes out, someone says something about how this character's broken, or how they hate them, or how they're boring, or a wasted character slot. None of that. Not seen a single thing of that. Everyone is enjoying Venom's inclusion, including myself. I think Venom's sick as fuck. Venom is the perfect ideal of the character that I hate. He's a set play zoner with pretty poor defensive mechanics. Yes, he has a very long-reaching 5-frame, but that's basically it. He's able to do some absolutely devastating shit to you if he gets a knockdown and gets a setup, but he has to get that knockdown and get a setup to actually do anything useful. The core concept and identity of the character have remained intact through the transition to Strive, and he's fucking sick because of it. I don't think he's gonna be a popular character, not the same way that someone like Slayer was on release where everyone was playing him, but I think there's gonna be a relatively decent amount of people who stick with Venom as he gets developed. So an absolutely amazing addition. Like, genuinely, Arxis did a really good job with Venom. But that doesn't mean I don't have any problems with the game anymore. This is something that I thought about after playing Venom, and this is a really awkward situation that I imagine people who are similarly brainwormed like myself have found themselves in. Venom's really cool. Like, he is. He's a great addition. I don't want to knock anything from that. But he's not my character. I was never gonna play Venom. He's just not that kind of character. He requires too much setup, too much homework. He's a zoner at heart. It's just not for me. I'm just not gonna do it. So for everyone who's not going to be playing Venom, this update doesn't really bring you anything. I was personally hoping for a couple of balance changes. Nothing major. I wasn't expecting like a 0.5 patch. But I was expecting nerfs to the big bodies, maybe a buff to Dizzy, something to just shrink the gap a little bit, but we got nothing. So I think we can safely say that Venom on his own, while being a very good addition, for a lot of people, hasn't saved Guilty Gear Strive. But there was more to Venom's announcement than just the character. Arxis promised a lot of different things alongside Venom. And I mean a lot of different things. Let's get the smallest one out of the way. They are finally adding frame data to training mode. This has been something that has been requested for ages, and also something that the community has modded in themselves. If you don't know, there was a mod created that allowed you to see the Street Fighter 6 frame display. It was pretty adaptive. I don't know how it worked, but it would be mostly accurate. I think it was like 99.5% accurate, unless you bugged something out. So you would always be able to check situations and see exactly how plus you were. Obviously, for simple moves, a normal number display would work, but this system that the community made it so that you could check weird interactions and see how negative or how plus you were. And it was very good. You would see a lot of time people just install it because it worked so well. Frame data in training mode and replays allows players to actually be able to understand the game better and elevate themselves to a better plane of knowledge. It's all well and good looking back at a replay and seeing something weird, but being able to tell exactly how plus or negative you were will help you out a shit ton. They've said that they're only letting you use it in training mode. They've not said anything about replays, so hopefully the system is robust. Frame data has evolved a lot since the last time we saw it in an Alexis game. Like, a lot. Players don't just want a static number anymore that tells them exactly how plus or negative they are. They want to be able to see exactly how the frames break down. I hope we get something closer to a Street Fighter than we do a Dragon Ball. Though, having frame data in the game at all, finally, it's better than nothing, you know? Kind of crazy when 4 years and you couldn't check how fast a button you press was, or how plus or negative it was. You had to go on dust sleep. You had no other option. Now, can boot up training mode, press /boom. I know exactly all the properties of it. Thank fuck. They also say at the bottom they're planning to gradually introduce more features to training mode. We don't know exactly what that is, but I would personally like to make a suggestion. It's not technically training mode, but one of the biggest features that was added to quite a few games a couple of years back, and Guilty Gear is still missing, is replay takeover. If you don't know, replay takeover, you watch a replay, you pause it at a point, and then you're able to take control of one of the two characters, and the other one just plays out the exact sequence. It's very good for finding specific different things, like if you were able to actually convert off of a stray hit, how to actually get out of an opponent's block string, if this button would beat another button in neutral. There's a lot you can do with it. Being able to put yourself back into a situation that happened exactly as it was is extremely powerful. In Guilty Gear especially, it's very useful. This is a problem I've personally had a lot of times. I'm sure other people can relate. If you have a character that has complex strings, like Jacko, Zato, Venom is going to be a very good example of this, and you want to figure out how to get out of that sequence, labbing against it can be kind of hard. With characters that have a lot of weird specific situations or inputs that you're not used to doing, setting that exact situation up in training mode isn't easy. Listen, I don't play a lot of characters. If I'm fighting someone that does anything more than just button into button into button, I have a really hard time setting that up in training mode. The whole reason I suck at the Jacko matchup is because I don't know how to lab against her. Because I don't know how to do her setups. There's just some things where it feels like you have to learn the character in order to set them up in training mode so you can learn to beat them. If they add replay takeover, hopefully that means that we don't have to do that. So hopefully the additional features are something like that and not... I literally don't know what else it could be, genuinely. If you could think of what an additional feature for frame data would be, down below the comment section. But that's not all. There's one more big announcement that Arc System Works gave. And it's had a bit more of a mixed response, which I'm very surprised about. Because I have been championing this change for fucking years. Between the months of June and August, we, at some point, will be getting ranked matchmaking. Finally! I am so happy. I am so fucking happy. They haven't explained exactly how the system works, but we do know that there are other Arxis games that have ranked matchmaking, mainly Granblue. So we can assume that it's going to work similarly to how Granblue works. What they have said is that you will fight people against similar skill levels without going through the online lobby. So the likelihood is it will be a menu where you just either queue in training mode, or you just queue while looking at it, and then it puts you against someone. This is good in multiple ways. The online lobby section of the game has always been a clusterfuck. I don't think there's ever been a single patch where it has been 100% reliable. The best I remember was before the Xbox update, when it was like 90% reliable, but now it's a mess. It was a mess on launch. It was a little bit better during like season 2, and then they started doing cross-console shit, and it just boosh, just collapsed. Just terrible. It's not good. It still isn't good. There's a chance that you go online now and you'll just desync from everyone else in the lobby, and there's the only thing you can do about it, refresh. That's it. So if they use a system that isn't the lobby system and just let you connect directly to each other, we might finally have an enjoyable Guilty Gear experience. It may also help the lobbies out. If less people are in the lobbies, they might just work better. From my general experience, if you have like 3 people in a lobby, it works better than if you have like 25. So maybe it'll help the lobbies out as well. Who knows? But apart from that, it seems like a standard rank system. There's 7 ranks. It'll be iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, vanquisher. Could you tell this is Guilty Gear? Once you get to vanquisher, you enter a different kind of system. From what I can tell, it's very similar to how Granblue does the Master and Grandmaster system, and Street Fighter also does the Master system, where instead of playing for a new rank, you're playing for elo points. While you win, higher your elo points go. While you lose, lower your elo points go. It's generally a good system. I've not heard a lot of people complain about these kind of systems in other games. I know that later down the line, things like Street Fighter have had to add tiers within the Master system, but personally, this is all I've ever wanted. Genuine. The biggest problem I had with Celestial was you went in and it felt like the range of players was too big. You would have people who barely made it in off the skin of their teeth versus actual pro players that are going to the Arc World Tour. So hopefully this now narrows the range of where you can find people. I don't give a fuck if I don't make it to Vanquisher rank. If it turns out I'm hard stock plat, I'll fucking take it. Genuinely, I will. Because I just want to fight people of my same skill. That's all I've ever wanted. I was so sick of every Celestial match being a stomp one way or another. I just wanted a close match, because that's the most fun bit of fighting games. Getting stomped and stomping people isn't that fun. Having a back and forth where you adjust to the opponent and they adjust to you, and you gotta think things through and you gotta outplay the opponent is so much more fun. Hopefully that's what Ranked Match actually gives the game. Now, Celestial will apparently still be around. It's just gonna change its name. It's not gonna be the Ranked Tower anymore. It's just gonna be the tower where you can go and you can play in Celestial. I think this is actually kind of a good idea. This isn't 100% confirmed, just before anyone says anything. But I'm pretty sure that they added Celestial because the previous Guilty Gear games didn't have that many people playing ranked matchmaking. If you go back and you look at things like Plus R and Xrd, the ranked modes generally die, and people play in lobbies against each other. This could be because of a lot of different reasons, but it was very common after like a week of an Arxis game coming out for the ranked match to just die and no one play it. I think they expected that to happen with Strive. They internally probably noticed, hey, no one's playing ranked. Like, no one. So, we gotta do something else. We gotta have a thing for people to play. And the Celestial system sounds decent when you have a lower amount of players. And it probably would have been. But Strive didn't have a couple of hundred players. It had a couple of thousand consistently. And the system began to show its problems when everyone's able to get into Celestial, because now it's just basically a big open lobby, and there's no way to sort people. So having ranked will hopefully fix that issue. People will be sorted. People will have something to strive for and play towards. Get it, strive. And hopefully we won't just have Little Jimmy fighting Big Lef because they ran into each other in Celestial. Now, there are concerns, and some of them are actually quite valid. One that I don't think works is people saying that no one will play ranked. That's stupid. It's going to be my primary way to play, because I don't like getting sniped. And this makes it a little bit harder for people to snipe me. But I do understand maybe at the lower levels, it's going to be harder for people to find a match. People have cited things like Granblue, the ranked matchmaking in that game doesn't start until you get to S+. And I've experienced this. You fight like the same 2 people over and over and over again in the B, A, and even S ranks. And then once you get to S+ and S++, you actually start fighting more people. Hopefully that doesn't happen with Strive. It would be really shit if it did, because, you know, new player experience is bad, but you also, I guess you can't help where everyone is, you know? I think people are going to play the mode as long as it functions. I don't think we'll have to worry about player count too much. Strive has shown that it is able to retain players even when the netcode sucks. So I'm less worried about that bit. The other point I've heard makes a little bit more sense. There's a chance that the problem with online isn't specifically the lobbies, but how you connect with each other. So there's a chance that circumventing the lobbies doesn't actually fix the Strive Earth issue, and that could lead to a lot of problems. For example, if you queue You get into a match and then Strive Hoof happens. Do you lose points because the server bugged out? That'd feel shit. If the server flakes on you, which it does a couple of times, if you lose rank points, that's going to be shit because, well, you lost rank points for no reason. But they also are going to need to put in a levers penalty, right? Like, we don't want people being completely free to just dip and not interact with the game at all. They see they're going to lose and they go, ah, shit, and leave so they protect their rank points. We don't want that. We want people to be penalized if they leave. We don't want people to be penalized if the servers kick them out. I'm not going to lie, computers generally have a hard time telling the difference. So it is the worry that the bugs in the system may fuck over ranked. And I think that is quite a genuine concern. It is one that I'm a little bit worried about. I think that this is going to be generally good. Fingers crossed. I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for it. I think this game should have had ranked the whole time. The whole time they should have had ranked matchmaking. I always knew that Strive was going to be one of the big three. It's so much better than fucking Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat? More like Schnorrel Schmombat, am I right? So I'm glad it's finally getting it. I would like to think ArcSys does it properly. It is Arc System Works, though, so, you know, who knows what'll happen. I've definitely seen better companies fuck up ranked matchmaking. Shout out Valve and Team Fortress 2. So, it's a little bit worrying. I'm trying to be optimistic, though, because I'm getting exactly what I wanted. So, hopefully, I get what I wanted, and it's good. I don't get what I wanted, and people laugh at me for it. Besides, worst case scenario, Celestial's still in the game, so you can just go and play it. So, will these updates be enough to save Guilty Gear? Maybe? My biggest problem with Strive right now is balance. I think that there's characters that are just too strong, and it's annoying as fuck. But, hopefully, these updates, along with a balance patch that fucking guts the top tiers, means that the game's in a better state. The things that they're promising sound good. ArcSys just needs to deliver. They just need to follow through. Feels like last season, they were doing weirdo shit. They added Team of 3. They completely overhauled the balance of the game into a fucking weirdo state. They were doing weird stuff. But now, these sound like things that people have actually been asking for. And they're actually putting them in. So, hopefully, Arc System Works continues to listen. I know in games, leaning into what your hardcore audience wants generally is a bad idea. Because you alienate the casuals. But in this case, we're just kind of asking for basic things. I don't even think I'm that much of a hardcore player, and I fucking play this game for a living, you know? And also, the hardcore's kind of all they got left at this point. Who knows, maybe the anime will be sick and we'll get a bunch of new players. Oh, also, Unique's coming out in May. Thank fuck. 2 months between characters? Fuck yes. Fuck yes. I'm not gonna have a content drought for 2 months. I'm so happy. I'm excited. I think Guilty Gear could be in a good place. I think this could be sick. But let me know what you think. The comment section down below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.